Hey, welcome aboard. It's Walter here. And I want to share something with you about your trading. This is something that really, if you think about it and you go back and look at it, can be a real game changer. It has been for me. And if I'm trying to think about all the traders who are in one bucket, which are those who traded for some time and then quit and never really made it, versus those traders who've been trading for decades, long time, there's one thing that distinguishes them. And this thing is psychological. Now, it reminded me that this idea and by the way, we're talking all about this this week in the Small Accounts Big Profits course. You can click the link below or above if you want to get on the course. So a friend of mine, he came over from England to Western Australia and he bought a house. And he and his wife were like, oh, it's a great house. It's just a bit old. So we'll hire some builders to come in and fix it up. This is years ago, right? And what happened was they went and tried to find a builder, and the builders were like, I see what you want to do. No, we're not gonna do that. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, we don't like refurbish homes. We just knock them down and rebuild them. And I'm sorry, mate, but you're not gonna find anyone around here who will do that for you. And he was like, are you serious? Nobody told me that when I bought the house. I didn't realize that it was like this embargo on renovations. And he basically had to knock it down. And he thought this was crazy. The reason why I bring this up, because a few years ago, a friend of mine, one of the traders that I worked with, he said, you know what, I'm gonna leave our private community. I'm going off. I've got this other opportunity. It's really good. It's too good to pass up. And he lived in Western Australia. And I said, it's not so-and-so, is it? And there's this lady who goes around teaching people how to flip houses and make lots of money. It's not her, is it? And he goes, yeah, it is. How'd you know? I said, well, because you're in Western Australia and there's a housing bubble. And I said, be careful, buddy. So fast forward a few years. I don't know how he's going, if he's still trading. I don't, it sounded like he was giving up on it and decided to get into the flipping houses thing. Well, the Western Australian housing market's really taken a downturn. So hopefully he's okay. But the reality is, if this trader had worked more on this skill, then it's easier for you to trade over the long haul. And this skill is called resilience. Like I said, we've got a whole week, a whole module on this in the Small Account Big Profits course. It's actually week 5. And resilience is simply the psychological ability to bounce back. And I believe, and we know that there are 3 things, right, in profitable trading: a system that fits your beliefs and that is expected to make money, trading risk rules that will allow you to achieve your goals. Like in Small Accounts Big Profits, we want to build up $1,000 as quickly as possible. So that's why we design our risk rules around that. And then the third piece is psychology. So that's what I'm talking about now, is the psychology. And obviously, resilience is a psychological skill. Here's how you get better at it. Here's how you will trade for decades and decades and decades. You have to reassess a situation. So when you see something, when something happens, instead of seeing it as a barrier, a challenge that you won't be able to overcome, it's a learning opportunity. It's an opportunity to get better as a trader, as a person. And so what you might do, for example, is, let's say that you're in a 20R drawdown, R being the amount at risk. Okay, and you've tested your strategy, and you know that about 40% of the time you will see a 30R drawdown with your strategy. So if that's the case, 40% of the time you'll see a 30R drawdown, and you're in a 20R drawdown, then it shouldn't be surprising that you're actually in this drawdown right now. And instead of saying, and it's easy for this to happen, it happens to me, it happens to everybody. When this happens, you're like, this isn't working. My system's broken. The market's totally changed. I back tested it in this time period, and now in this time period, so everything's different. Oh no, what am I going to do? Well, here's the thing. What you can do, if you'd like to, is you can, instead of seeing this as a catastrophic, oh no, the sky is falling, you can reframe it. And you can say, well, for example, you can use this phrase, a more accurate way of looking at this is blank. A more accurate way of looking at my 20R drawdown is that it's a normal drawdown. 40% of the time I'm going to have a 30R drawdown. So it's probably not that big of a deal, even though it's painful, even though it's going to take a while to pull out of it. This is something that happens with my trading system, so I shouldn't be surprised. And that's really what trading comes down to. If you want to trade over the long haul, if you want to trade over decades and decades and decades and get to that point where you see those really high equity curves, you got to be in it for a long time. And the way that you're able to be in trading for a long time is you simply learn resilience. Resilience, the skill of resilience is a very valuable one. It's probably the one distinguishing factor between those traders who trade for a while, give up, move on to something else, like, you know, selling Amway or whatever, or flipping houses, and those who keep trading, and keep trading even through the tough times. And that's key, especially if you're going to take a small account and try and ramp it up quickly like we are going to in this course. So I wish you happy trading, and we'll see you soon. See you in another video. Bye.